Good afternoon and welcome to IPDay's Webinar Wednesday, Promising Practices for Dual Enrollment, ESOL to GED. Just a few housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, we kindly ask that you place them in the Q&A option of the Zoom features. Attendees' microphones will be muted and you will be in listen-only mode. Okay. Today's presentation is being recorded and it will be archived and available on the IPDay website within 48 hours. My name is Megan Duke and I am an instructional coordinator at Indian River State College and an IPDay trainer. And here is my IPDay email. So what is adult education dual enrollment? If you don't mind answering that in the chat, when you hear adult education dual enrollment, what does that mean to you? Or what do you think of? Karen Carr said she thinks of trade programs plus GED. Would anybody else like to share? Oh, I don't know, and that's why I'm here. And I'm so glad you are, Miss Young. Enrolled in different programs such as GED and ESOL. Mildred says when a student can attend 2 classes. So lots of great answers in the chat. Thank you so much. You want to review your peers' responses in the chat. Technical career programs in GED. Students in 2 different classes. So in adult education, we often explain IETs as being dual enrollment for our adult education students. And although that is certainly true, there is another model that some of us may have in mind. In the case of this webinar, dual enrollment adult education refers to students being enrolled in both ESOL and GED courses simultaneously. This approach allows learners to improve their English language skills while also working towards their high school equivalency. It's especially beneficial for our adult learners who are motivated to advance their language skills very quickly. So it's when we take our ESOL students and our GED students and we kind of tether those courses together to give our students more options for their future. So the origin, the vision, and the mission of this dual enrollment model. Okay, I'm going to use Indian River State College as a sample for this presentation. Our goal, the idea behind implementing the ESOL and GED dual enrollment model originated from our desire to address several key goals within our adult education program. The first thing that we wanted to do was boost our GED enrollment by tapping into a large pool of students already in our program, meaning that we had many ESOL students and we wanted to tap into that population and see how we could boost enrollment and support those students' educational and personal goals. Second, many of our students, or our ESOL students, lacked a high school credential, or they maybe had the credential, but they did not have access to get copies of their transcripts to have them evaluated. This model offered them a structured way to earn their GED or high school equivalency. Third, by exposing our ESOL students to academic level English, we prepared them for the rigors of GED test or any education beyond what the ESOL classes could offer as far as career pathways. Lastly, this immersion into English only classrooms, meaning we were taking our ESOL students and putting them into GED classrooms, it completely immersed them academically and socially into the English language. We realized that this accelerated their language acquisition, but it also fostered lots of confidence in our students. Okay. And it allowed them to be in a more professional setting among other college going students. Further, we have noticed students are expanding their social skills. So we were building those social relationships with others that maybe were outside of their normal friend, family, or social group. It allowed them to have the opportunity to have more conversational language. And it created a one-stop shop for our students by allowing them to work on their language skills and work towards their high school or in GED or high school equivalency. Okay, so I'm just curious, in we're going to share a poll here, a poll which is multiple choice. Which of these aspects that you see or that I just spoke about would benefit your program the most? Do you need an increase in GED enrollments? Do you have ESOL students without a high school diploma or access to transcripts? Do your ESOL students need more support in academic English? Or would they benefit from immersion of ESOL or immersion of into English only classrooms? So you're just picking the one that would benefit you the most. Just give you a couple more moments to make your selection. We appreciate that. Just take these last few seconds to make your choice. So we have shared our, so this is interesting. 37% of you said that your program would benefit from an increased GED enrollment. And closely behind it, you said you needed support with 33% of your students without a high school diploma. But also, there isn't much of a margin of difference in between that and introducing your ESOL students to academic English. So as we can see, this ESOL to GED dual enrollment model can support our program and our students in many different ways and in different aspects. Okay. Our vision was rooted in opportunity and accessibility. That means we're supporting those who face challenges related to language and other documentation statuses. We already have a relationship with our ESOL students. That relationship gives them a sense of security and a sense of support. So we wanted to use that to help them. By focusing on education, skill building, and long-term empowerment, we're not just teaching, we're helping individuals transform their futures in a shorter time frame. Okay, so again, the vision is that they're going to achieve educational success in every aspect, ESOL and GED courses. They're going to gain essential skills that's going to help them in life, their personal life, but also their career goals. And overall, this is going to build a foundation for a brighter future for these students. This model is designed to empower our ESOL students by giving them the tools they need to succeed, both in the classroom and in the workforce. By providing access to both ESL instruction and GED preparation at the same time, we help learners overcome language and academic barriers more effectively and efficiently at a more accelerated pace, because again, they're taking these classes simultaneously. More skills means more money in our students' pockets. So this, again, I'm using Indian River State College as a sample. Okay, but we're going to talk about proposed model for eligibility. And I say that I'm using it as a sample because I wanted you to understand that these are internal policies that we've created based on our experience of doing this dual enrollment model over the past couple of semesters. So ESOL students with an NRS level of 5 or 6 are who we encourage and enroll in our classes. So although math is often considered a universal language, the GED math exam poses a unique challenge for ESOL students due to its use of word problems. And some of those word problems are very long word problems. So we felt for level 5 ESL students, they should be eligible for math only instruction. Okay. And the reason is this allows them to begin tackling the subject content in math while continuing to strengthen their English skills. Okay. It's a strategic approach offering them access to GED level math while still giving them time to build the language proficiency needed to handle the full range of GED subjects later. Okay, so we say NRS level 5 is who we allow to start the dual enrollment of ESOL to GED, and we do level 5. Again, for language support, because we know once they start getting into RLA, social studies, and science, the rigor of the reading and writing on those exams is much greater. So our rationale is that we're strengthening these language skills, but also strengthening their self-confidence, okay? In our experience, level 6 ESOL students have reached a stage where they can effectively handle the academic demands of ABE, GED math, and reasoning through language arts. Okay, at this level, they have built enough language proficiency to begin engaging with more complex content. However, we strongly encourage these students to remain co-enrolled in our ESOL classes. We do not require this, okay? But we strongly encourage them to stay even at a levels NRS level 6 in ESOL if they haven't exited, of course. So that way they can continue building their English skills, okay? So with that being said, I wanted to also discuss dual training for instructors in ESOL and GED. Okay, so here, again, using our institution as a sample, we have noticed that a lot of our instructors are able to be dually trained. They're using a lot of the same instructional strategies and, you know, collaborative learning strategies and things like that, that our ESOL and our GED students all can benefit from. So I ask you in the chat, if you don't mind putting in the chat, what instructional strategies or best practices would be beneficial to share with dually training instructors? So we're talking about in training instructors to teach both ESOL and GED. What instructional strategies or best practices would you suggest? And again, you can place those in the chat. You can read everybody's responses, and I'll just read out a couple. Professional learning. Thank you, Jet. Observe other instructors. Assign a mentor. Co-teaching. I love these ideas. Visual aids. A learning lab. Varied activities, right? Keep it dynamic. Keep changing it. See a lot of people writing co-teaching or observing. I know we can learn so much from others in the field, whether they're in our institution or not. We ourselves are a wealth of knowledge to others. Absolutely. More time, right? Scaffolding, repetition, peer teaching, visuals. Thank you all for sharing those best practices and instructional strategies. Please feel free to keep sharing them in the chat because we can all learn from one another. So dually training GED and ESOL instructors looks like this at our institution. They meet with the instructional coordinator, and the instructional coordinator reviews curriculum and different instructional resources that we may have, whether it's textbooks, workbooks, online practices, supplemental resources, things that students can practice with at home. Okay, and they meet with them and have a sit down one-on-one or small group training. Then we assign an observation time. We hope to allow instructors to at least observe 2 others before they enter the classroom. So if they're already a GED instructor, we like them to visit 2 other ESOL instructors' classrooms and vice versa. If they're brand new to teaching ESOL, we like to have multiple opportunities to see different styles and different activities. Again, we encourage them to participate in professional learning, and we provide professional learning with them as often as we can. Another great suggestion is assign a mentor, a veteran instructor who is confident and feels comfortable with supporting another teacher. Because I know sometimes it can be overwhelming to teach a class when you have another adult, especially another adult teacher in your classroom. And also co-teaching. So again, some of these ideas that I shared, you all shared as well. So thank you. So the reason why we suggest that you dual train instructors is because first, instructors can identify prospective students. So if our upper level ESOL instructors are trained in GED, they're going to be able to identify as the students in ESOL classes are working on assignments who might be ready or who might have a need because they've built those relationships with the students to move into a GED classroom. Because of those established relationships, they know their personal and professional goals. They also know what level of education they have. You know, in adult education, we can have students that are, you know, doctors, lawyers, dentists, and then we can also have students that are struggling with literacy in their own native language. So again, they've established those relationships. They know what those students need and want. They know what they're interested in. Okay. Also, though, these instructors can provide language support for ESOL students once they've already made the transition into the GED classroom. They might have different tips or tricks or be able to refer back to the ESOL curriculum when providing instruction to these ESOL students in the GED classroom. And of course, I think there's a level of comfortability, this student comfortability, but I think also the instructor's comfortability because, again, they've built relationships with these students in many different settings. Okay. So outside of what we've shared in the chat, if you would, outside of what we've already shared on the previous slide and on the previous question, what are some other ways that GED instructors can support ESOL students? What best practices or instructional strategies can GED instructors use to support ESOL students? I see someone said differentiation, contextualized learning. See someone agreeing, allowing them to figure things out, those critical thinking skills. I also thought too, when I was thinking about this question myself, is that oftentimes the strategies that we use for our ESOL students are research-based strategies for instructing any type of class. So that hands-on learning, the visual aids, the repetition, the visuals, the graphic organizers. It's not just specific to just GED or just ESOL or just college level. These are things that we can use in many different educational settings. But I also think too, when we have the opportunity to differentiate, do small group, shoulder sit with our students, do informal check-ins as they're practicing. Those are all ways that we can support our ESOL students as well, especially maybe checking in on them a little bit more before or after class, having those check-in conversations, or again, just checking in on them as they're working to see if they have any questions or need further clarification. Okay, so I just wanted to share a little bit of data on how it's going using Indian River State College's implementation of this dual enrollment model. Okay, we started to track this and really recruit and implement this in the fall of actually in early fall, but I think this was our second semester, fall 2024. Our GED preparation students, 7% of them were co-enrolled, meaning that 7% of our overall number of GED students were also enrolled in ESOL students. And then that number increased this past spring. Out of all of our GED students, 9% of those students were also in ESOL, so co-enrolled. And please, if you are already doing this at your institution, feel free to kind of share some of your successes in the chat as well. I know myself and others on this webinar would like to hear. Another aspect that we took into consideration when sharing this information with you is how students can be scheduled, because we know oftentimes we have GED classes and ESOL classes going on at the same time. Okay, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. So we needed to be strategic in how we scheduled our classes. So students can take math and then move to a nearby classroom in the same building across the hall and take ESOL, or vice versa. Okay. We, again, we strategically scheduled classes and classrooms to accommodate students wishing to be co-enrolled. Okay, so for example, here on the screen, you see that we have students, level 5 and 6 students, ESOL students, taking their level 5 and 6 ESOL class at 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And then while they're still on campus, they transfer to their ABE GED classroom and they take math from 10:30 to 1. Okay, or vice versa. On some campuses or on campuses with multiple offerings, they could take math first and then after their math class, go straight to their ESOL class. The reason for that is for part of it is we know a lot of students struggle with transportation. They're already here, so let's give them both of their classes. Also for convenience in scheduling it around work and other personal commitments and responsibilities. Okay. Some other options that we have for our students is online or hybrid options. So first, number one, students can elect to take ESOL online and ABE GED classes face-to-face, or they can do the opposite. Students can elect to take ABE GED online and ESOL face-to-face. So students can also elect to take both online and face-to-face. Again, especially with ESOL, we always encourage our students to schedule face-to-face classes when they can, but we do understand that sometimes it's not feasible based on their family life, their work life. But we do, again, encourage that. Okay. Also, IET candidates. Our ESOL and GED dual enrolled students are prime candidates for IET programs. And here are just a few of the reasons why. They are encouraged because they feel driven by their recent success. Okay, I'm already in ESOL, I'm already in GED, I'm doing well. What else can I do to accelerate my career goals? Okay, they're dedicated. They've proven they are committed because they are attending both ESOL and GED classes. Okay, these students obviously are very motivated. They show that they have a clear drive to improve education and career prospects and maintain attendance. Okay, because again, they've already shown that they can be dual enrolled in ESOL and GED. So maybe these would be good students to recruit or to have those IET conversations with, and discuss the offerings, because they've already showed that they can do both and that they're willing to do both. Okay, and they are also students that feel supported. They have benefited and they continue to benefit from strong instructional support and a peer network. And they're going to continue to want to do dual enrollment, but as an IET student, because they've already seen the support that they get from their instructors, the institution, the classroom peers, and the office staff. In this context, thank you, Andrea, for having me clarify. My apologies. IET programs are our integrated education and training. So IET programs are when students are getting other career training and programs or upper ed college level classes while also still maintaining enrollment in either ESOL or GED. Okay. Again, thank you for having me clarify. Integrated education and training. Okay. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A section. Let me give you an opportunity to please, if you have any questions, to post them in the Q&A section. Please, if you have anything, any comments that you'd like to share, please also do that. You can do that in Q&A or chat. Okay, I'll give you another moment or two. You're welcome, Jean. Yes, that's absolutely right. So a student that is taking CNA classes while also taking ESOL, or taking CNA classes while also working on their GED. Thank you so much for sharing. Someone else said that their ESOL and GED model is slightly different, but they're still seeing success as well. So without further ado, please, I think they're about to share the poll. Please give IPDAY your feedback on this webinar. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome you or remind you about the next webinar. The next webinar is going to be a Tech Tuesday. It will be on June the 17th at 1 p.m. A really exciting topic. The title of the webinar for June the 17th is Ready, Set, Action, Video Production for Literacy and Language Development Made Easy. You are all more than welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.